SquareHammer.
What is up, SquareHammers? What's up, YouTube? Hope y'all can hear me well. If you can't, please let me know in the chat. Welcome. We're going to be discussing several events. Oh, let me turn that off. Obviously, I haven't been on here in a while, but I'm back. Been a little busy, life kind of things, but having a blast. So, first, I just want to show this match play thing. I hope everyone's really excited about it because I am. I hope GW. It seems like they're taking tournament/competitive play for the old world pretty seriously, so that's very cool. And obviously we can go through this, but I want to go through the some of the packets of the other events first. So first I want to thank GameMat.eu. They gave me an insane discount on several battle mats to then use at Nova. We have Noble Night Games. They sent me this little thing. And I'm going to open this letter now. Inside, we have 3 gift cards for $50 each. I believe that was their total, that I will also be handing out as prize support. So 3 of those. Don't let me forget. I'm going to put them right here on my computer so I don't forget. Then also want to thank so Noble Night Games, GameMat.eu, and there's a company called Starforged. I don't know if they're legit or not, but they are also providing some really cool price support. Let's see if I can get that for y'all. But there's like some cool keychains, there's some busts, and some other stuff that's really nice. So first, let's go through. Okay, so the first event I want to talk about is the Atlantic City Champions Cup. It's old world teams. It's 4-on-4, which is awesome. I was really excited to do this. I got 3 other buddies in mind. One of them is on the Hobby Jerks named Dan. Other one of mine is Bert, and another one is Ernan. Bert and Ernie, kind of funny. But this one is at the. It's hosted, I guess, by Frontline Gaming. That's who's like the overall umbrella. But it's run by Simon, who ran the Minion list, or the Minion Minis at Nova last year. Really nice guy. So it'll be held at Harrah's in Atlantic City, New Jersey. There still are some spots left. So it's 9 out of 14, but I think it's because there's 5 teams. So if we're able to get another team, we could have 6 teams, which would be great. So far, we have the ECW Club, King Bob's Army, which is like Simon and Kenyon and all them. Lords of Ruin, we just kind of chose that name because that just happened. And here's my team right here. We have the Unity Unicorns with Phil and Nathan. I don't know who else is supposed to be on that team, but they should get on BCP because I think lists were due this past weekend, but I think since they weren't sure what the event was going to turn into with so few teams, that list got pushed back another week. I think that's correct. And then Whiskey and Warpstone. Nice. So this one's supposed to be a fun event. Like, I'm going to hand out shots. I hope people go gamble afterwards. This is going to be a blast because it's at a casino. It's at Harrah's, which is a pretty large, kind of newish, I guess not too newish, but in Atlantic City, and it's going to be a blast. So that one's going to be a lot of fun. So to go through the packet, just to show some of the missions, some of the comp they're using, etc., so y'all can see what tournaments are, at least on the East Coast, are doing. So I'm going to look at the Atlantic City Open. I'm going to look at the second annual Beltway, and that one's run by Zach, and I'll go through that one in a minute. And the third one is the Mid-Atlantic Warhammer Legends. This one's run by Rob, and he just created this one. And then we're going to go through Nova, look at those packets too that I made. And who knows? So depending on what happens with this, what I might do, if this match play guide is concise enough, or just enough coverage, like the comp that I would like, and then it would be actually very cool if, I don't know when it's supposed to come out, hopefully in a month, hopefully in 2 months, before, at least a month before Nova, I can drop all my comp and just run straight this, because it would be a great way for, I guess, GW to see how well their comp is actually playing, and you could see what armies are winning, what they're losing, what lists are being taken, etc. within that gaze. So, GAZE. Sorry. uh, let's see. So first, the Atlantic City Player Pack. This is on FLG. If you just type in Frontline Gaming Warhammer, it'll pop up, and you can go to their events page and check out all their events. But here's the Frontline Gaming event summary. It's at Harrah's, yada yada. You can scroll back, I guess, if you want to hear the intro. But it's Simon. Oh, Kenya's doing it too? Okay, cool. If you need to email, FLG by Jake, of course. Schedule, we don't need to see schedule. Okay, let's see. All armies and books. They are going to be using the Renegade Legacy, or Renegade rules. I have been seeing that most events, sometimes not though, are using Renegade. Dog hair. I do think it is an improvement on some of the factions that need it. Some of them I think went a little too far. Actually, just one I think went a little too far, but whatever. So you can't play the same faction. Here you go. Each player on a team must play a different valid army. Grand armies and arcane journals from the same factions count as one. Totally agree. It lets you, so you can't run Exiles, Crusades, and Grand Army, like 3 of your 4. That would be crazy. Let's see. There's team captains. Bring team cards for pairing process. I don't know what that means. That just means like print out a couple of these or something. Print out a couple of these and have like I guess names on them would make it easy or something like that. Have their own models type. They should blah blah blah. Formats and FAQs. Okay, so let's see. They're doing max of 3 of the same entry type. You may not spend more than 25% of your army's total value on a single character, and we're playing 2,000 points, so it's 500 points. You can't spend more than 500 points on a character. That's cool. So basically no Chaos Dragons, no full build Dark Elf Dragon. Tomb Kings are totally fine to bring, even basically maxed out. Bretonnian ones are still cool to bring. What gets hurt other than the Chaos Dragon? Does the High Elf Star Dragon, does he get too expensive, maybe? You can only have 1 level 3 per 1,000 points. So you could have 2 level 3s and a level 4. That is like the max. Unit strength is a max of 50 and 10 models per rank max. Okay. No Green Knight or allies. Falcon Horn once per game. That's good. A unit reduced below 50% of its starting strength, wounds, or fleeing at the end of the game awards 50% of its base cost. That's cool. I like that. I have seen some events for infantry, they keep it as the book. So if you're under 25%, you get 25%, just to give infantry like an extra boost for kind of like points denial. Using the Games Workshop FAQs and the Mid-Atlantic FAQ that basically the whole Discord community has been working on. Terrain, passable, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is just going into how you actually set up the teams. I think it's kind of like 40K, I think is what they did. Basically, you each drop 1, or you drop 1, you select 2. I don't need to read all this. Do y'all want me to read all this? I don't know if you want me to read that. Probably not. Let's see. So I select 1 card, face down. Each team, boom. They flip up. Each team captain then selects 2 of their remaining 3 that 1 card down of the enemy has to choose between. Got it. And then I guess the last ones are the last ones. Okay. That's cool. 3 and 4. I don't need to do that. The leftovers. So I don't know which of my team, and I'll go ahead and say it's like, this is supposed to be a fun one. I'm running Demons. Oops. Dan is running Tomb Kings. And you could watch, I don't know if he's running his exact list on his Hobby Jerks, but he has been practicing with it live streaming. So you can go to YouTube and type in the Hobby Jerks, and it'll pop up. Ernan is running his Warriors of Chaos that he has been using almost exclusively in the old world, and he's doing very well with them. And Bert's doing vampire counts. I think he's doing a bunch of screams. So we have screams, bunch of magic missiles, a bunch of dragons, and a bunch of demons. If y'all ask for it, I'll show you my list if you want to see it. If you want to see it. Let's see. Let's see, they're doing differentials. Okay, I like it when it does go above 1600 because if you're just destroying your opponent and clearly they're probably not having a good time, there's a good chance. I mean, if you're handing them shots and stuff, then you never know. But if you're trying to make it enjoyable for them, but you don't want to utterly destroy your opponent, you can stop at some point and be like, okay, you just want to call it, you want to go get a drink, or etc. Team round scoring. At the end of each round, the total amount of points earned by each team is added together to boost the team score. The team score is capped at 55 points, and it cannot be less than 25 points. Huh, okay. So even if you lose horribly, all four, like let's say your whole team gets massacred against, and you'd only scored 12 points, you still get 25 points. All right. What's 17 times 3? Is that 54? So, why is it scored at 55? Oh, because it's 4 of them. So even if you massacre your opponent, all 4 of them, it'd be 50. That's cool. Simon, I like that. That's nice. I like that a lot, actually. Cool. Tournament scoring, battle points at a 275, sportsmanship at a 80. So this is supposed to be 5 rounds. How are they doing sportsmanship? Probably come into it as I go down. Haha. We should get a decent appearance. We'll be fully painted, and I think everyone's bases are matching. Base, win, loss. What does that mean? Base, win, lost. Or see if I scroll down and I come to it. Appearance will get decent. Sportsmanship, I hope we do well. This is supposed to be a fun event. This is not supposed to be try hard, go destroy your opponent every single time. This is supposed to be fun. Battle points, no problem. Base, win, loss. Okay, hopefully I come to that. Painting. I hope no one brings a gray army to a casino FLG team event. I would hope so. I'm guessing our whole team will get somewhere in between these two. So that's what I'm hoping. Sweet, sweet. Sportsmanship. 4, 3, 2, 1. Makes it easy. No problem. I always like this. If there's a, if you write a 1 for your opponent, the TO should come ask you why you gave them a 1. Just to make sure everything's okay, like you're not trying to drop or you're not harboring like why is it a 1? Is it they were a piece of crap when it came to rules, or yeah, I don't know, just stuff like that. And I've been given 1s before, and I've given 1s before. It happens sometimes. Objectives. Okay, so if you start with a unit strength of 9, or if you're 6 with a banner. Okay, that's cool. You count as scoring. So even if you're down to 1 guy left, as long as you started with unit strength 9 and your unit of infantry, you're cool. Same thing with cavalry. A flying cavalry unit cannot control or contest an objective in skirmish formation. So if you have the ability to reform to open or close, then good to go. Or lance. A unit of chariot with minimum 9. So no heavy chariots that are by themselves can do that. Basically just Tomb King chariots. Can Goblin chariots, I think, go in units now? Or not now, but can. I don't know any other chariots that are able to. Characters don't have a unit strength. Same unit can only claim 1 objective, so you can't like string out. Score units cannot claim or contest objective fleeing. If y'all have any questions, please just lay them on me. If y'all see something you don't like, or if you have a question about one of the I guess rules in the packet, just ask away and I'll try and explain it, or I'll throw it to Simon and maybe he can explain it because maybe it's not clear here. During the game, score units claim, but then blah blah blah. Okay. Game 1, Sacred Ground. So it looks like just straight up battle line deployment. Hi, Steve. Excellent, excellent. Let's see. So I'm 12 inches up, and then in the center there's 3 objectives. The Sacred Relic. Does it say what size the objectives are? I don't think so. Okay. Sacred Relic. The Sacred Relic is falling onto the center of the battlefield. You and your opponent must vie for control of it to secure victory. 3 markers. Starting damage. Okay, so you're just trying to hold the objectives. Don't say what size they are unless it's set it up before. Breaking through the enemy outlines. Good, at least it's not 6 inches apart. When it's 6 inches apart here, it gets kind of nuts, because if you don't go first and you set up to go first, you can get screwed. But breaking through enemy lines. The enemy is before you. You must break through their lines in order to control the battlefield. Take note of your scoring units and rush your opponent's side of the field. Glory awaits those who successfully take the ground from their opponent. +1 scenario point per scoring unit not fleeing at the end of the game inside the opponent's deployment zone. Okay. +2 scenario points if no enemy scoring units alive not fleeing at the end of the game within your deployment zone. Okay. So you can score 2. Let's say you deployed here. You score 2 points if no enemy scoring units are in your zone, and you get 1 point per in the enemies. That's cool. And that's basically just kill each other. This one's kill each other, hold objectives. So this is a scenario where the objectives don't really matter too much, because if you just kill your opponent, you win the game. Secure the center. I do like this deployment. I think it was Ken that turned this on to me. It was one of the not old, but 9th Age. It's either 9th Age or Kings of War deployment zones. I don't remember when I first used this, but a little confusing at first. But I think people like it. It's just it's a very different setup that most fantasy players have never used. Secure the center. Show them who's boss. So have the most scoring units within 6 inches of the center of each objective zone, which in this case there's only 1. Okay, so you're just getting scenario points each game or each turn just for holding that. So it's still just kill your opponent. If you kill your opponent and then you just go take that after a turn or 2 or 3 turns, then you're fine. Secure the treasures. Okay, so this is an interesting deployment zone. I don't know if y'all can see my mouse, but it's basically top left and bottom right. I like that. That's neat. It's like refused flanks. Secure the treasures. And I kind of did this for the Amiga event I ran, but they weren't distributed like this, so this is cool. Let's see. So I'm going to guess that only scoring units can pick them up, or if they're objectives and they just stay where they are. Treasures marked on the day can be picked up by scoring units by being in contact with it during the commandment phase. I think that just means command phase, probably. Simon. Command phase of their player turn. You can only carry 1 at a time. Okay. Where do you place the marker? Touching the center of the front rank. So if you're a skirmishing unit, let me go back up to hold on, page 13. Just need to look up scoring units. I know it said something about skirmishers. It did not. Okay, so if you're a skirmishing unit, Simon, where would you like the objective to drop? Right in the center if they die? Or like towards the front, closest to an enemy unit or something? I don't know. Whatever you decide there is cool. +1 snare point for the player carrying the most treasure. Okay. Excellent. Do we need to bring treasure markers, or will you have treasure markers? Just something. If you don't have any, I got some. I can bring them for you. Bloodbath. This one definitely just seems like line up and kill. Kill them all. All right. So this one's just table quarters. Okay, so it's kill your opponent in table quarters. As I guess that's why it's split down the middle here. Makes sense. Awards. Da, da, da. Well, sadly. So we'll be here, I guess. Da, da, da. So hold on. Okay, so there won't be a best sportsmanship. So there'll be overall, which is the combined total of everything. There'll be a most wins, so not most battle points, but most wins as an individual general. Best painted makes sense, but not a best sportsmanship. Right? Okay. Sounds cool. This is gonna be fun. I'm really looking forward to this because it's obviously it's in Atlantic City, which is crazy. All right, so that's the Atlantic City Open. Next one is Zach is running the second annual Beltway. Make sure I'm going in order. June 21st is that one. So that's a week after. So not this upcoming weekend, but the weekend after is the Atlantic City Open. Then the week after that is this one, which is the annual Beltway. And then this one's not till August. Okay, cool. So if you go to BCP, you can just type in, I guess you can probably just search Maryland and do the old world and click off, click exclude online events, and this one should pop up. I think there's 28 players right now. And, oh, I need to pull up the trophies for y'all. Hold on. Zach sent out the trophies. Todd does trophies like this too. He does them at the Richmond Open. But these trophies are very cool. I kind of like these better than swords sometimes, so let's see if I can get them in here. Hold on. It's like an image slideshow. That's what I need. Here we go. Add files. I think y'all were like these. Yes. Hold on. Can I move it over? Yeah. Hold on. Where does it need to stop? Right there. Can I pause it? But I guess not, at least for how I did it. So these are going to be the prizes. We're backwards. Okay. These are going to be the prizes for the second annual Beltway. I think it's just going to keep going. But look at those. Those are freaking epic. Like, who wouldn't want one of those on their shelf? I don't know which one I would even go for. They all look cool. But yeah, I would, if you can come out to the Beltway, that one is, oh, sorry, let me turn the image slideshow off. There we go. That one is June 21st, and it is a GT, so it's 2 days. It is in Westminster, Maryland at Bazooka Games, which I don't think I've ever been to, so that's cool. Don't think I have. But we're going to look at the packet real quick, and that'll be all, and we're about to see. Looks like Anonymous Pumpkin is inside here right now, as y'all can see. That's an interesting. All right, Mr. Pumpkin. All right, Steve, you coming for you coming to the Beltway Battle? Excellent. Yes. All right, so it's a second annual. 65 per player, 32 spots. Oh, and lists are due. I believe they're due on the 14th, which is when I'll be in Atlantic City. So I kind of have to settle on a list now before I go because I probably won't be able to submit a list for this one until then. I was really thinking about demons, but I'll tell you why I probably won't. They'd look sweet, but I'll tell you in a second. Tell you why in a second. 5 games, all of those 15 minutes. Fair. Schedule, how long are rounds? 2 hours and 45 minutes. An hour for lunch. Rewards and prizes. Everyone help pick up. It's the way to do it. Everyone should join in. So 2,000 points. All the armies. Rule of 3 is in effect. BCP by, Saturday. Okay, so here's the comp and building list and stuff. So 2,000 points, no allies, mercs are okay. Armies of renown can be used. 3 units per type, so you can't spam like 6 of the same core or whatever, or anything really. I assume that means like if you can take, let's say something is rare, but you take a character and it makes, you can take 1 as special. I would still say it's the same unit type, so then you couldn't take 3 in rare and 1 in special or whatever, or 1 in special and, or sorry, 3 in special and 1 in core, because then you're 4 of the same type, so not allowed. What you see, what you get. No Green Knight. Excellent, excellent. All the special characters okay. I think I had to ask him a question about this one, and I was confused on his initial response, but then I asked it again, and then I asked it in a different way, and it worked. So limit of 2 flying behemoths, and limit of 3 units with fly and swift stride. So you could have 3 units with fly and swift stride, including characters, and 2 flying behemoths. So you could have 5 flying units, because it's 3 units with fly and swift stride, not 3 units with fly, period. So, but there you go. So this, okay, so remember how I was saying there's some events not using the Renegade list? This is one of them, which is fine. So it's by Zach. His Daps on jeez. Daps on Discord. I kept wanting to say Zipcord. The old world. So battle points are only 50%. I like it when stuff like this. Battle points are only 50% of your overall score. Paint is 18% with 45 points. We got a little spaces here. Comp is 18%. So that's like list theme, list comp, how you built your list. What Zach thinks is, I think it'll go through it as I scroll down. Sportsmanship is 30%, and administrative, list on time, showing up on time, and name tag near your army for judging. That's nice because sometimes people will just leave their army, beautiful army, and then you have no idea whose it is. So it's like, hey, put your name near it, and get +1 point. 250 max. Okay, so a draw is 10-10. Massacre 20-0, and that's if you get 1601 or more. I was thinking about running a really cool Marauder list. Oh, it's your first GT? Nice. 50 miles, that's great. It's like a 6-hour drive for us, but it'll be cool. Well, what we plan is, I think Bert and I are driving up at some point. But back to this, I guess. So banners are worth no victory points, which I kind of like because I think most armies, you don't really need to take most banners unless you want a special magical one. But then even if you do, it's really hard to kill those banners because they're in such a hard hitting or hard defense unit, like Undead or something, or Peg Knights. So it's really hard to get that banner. And the most competitive players, me, myself included, you don't put banners in units that you really don't need them in. Because let's say it only costs you 7 points to make a banner, to add a banner. It gives your opponents 50 points when they kill it. So, like, it's an awful trade-off. So I like that. This actually lets you take banners to get the plus. It makes them useful and not as such a detriment. But okay, so I was talking to Zach, and he said, "Don't forget that banners don't cost anything or aren't worth anything." Because I was going to take, and I might still do it. I just have to figure out. I was going to take the Marauder special character from Wolves of the Sea, and just take a buttload of Marauders, like 3, 6. It was going to be like 6 characters, all with ambush, just like dudes on horses, just like piddly, like they 2 wounds each, they just die, and 3 units of marauders and 3 units of berserkers, just a whole everything ambushing, a whole bunch of toughness 3, like running around with flails, all corn, like just being fun. But one of her special rules, and she's already overcosted, um, is every banner. I think it's every banner that she's in a unit with. I don't think it's like every marauder, but it might be. They all gain extra. It's like 100 victory points per banner instead of just 50, but it's not really a huge deal. So I might still take that. Regular infantry and heavy infantry units at or under. Okay, at or under. So not just under 25%, at or under. That's a big distinction because a lot of times people will just write under. So if you're at 25 or under, you are worth 25%. So this is different from the ACO. This one's kind of buffing infantry a little bit. Monstrous infantry, everything else is 50% at 50, 50% at 50, at 50, at 50, or under. Okay, so sometimes you'll just see under 50, but these are at 50 or under, which is cool. Scoring units. Non-skirmishing with unit strength 9 or more prior to deployment. Okay. And then any non-core that are unit strength 12 or more prior to deployment. So the other one had like 3 bullets. This one's a little bit simpler, but it still gets the same point across. A little bit different in the rules, but close enough. But it does specify that a skirmish unit can reform to open order or whatever order, I'm guessing. Paints. There you go. I like that. Don't come up, like, come play, but prefer to at least get some paint on your stuff. Battle ready. And I like this too. Like, you should be able to score really high points, but you shouldn't win best painted. And I think that's fair. Totally fair. I don't know if y'all can see that. Yeah, you can see it. All right, good. Having trouble joining the Discord. Message me on Discord or message me on Facebook, and I'll send you an invite to it. Sportsmanship. +1 play against. Okay, so I'm guessing. All right, that's cool. Now I was. No, I don't want to say that. I was just talking about lists and stuff, but never mind. Excellent, excellent. Makes it easy. Army comp. So this is all subjective, but I think he went through. He added something cool. So this is a win at all cost army. You are here to win, and you don't care if your opponent has any fun. Like this says, let's hope no armies land here. There are tryhards, and I've made lists like this. I've seen plenty of other lists. I've seen a lot of lists that are like this before. I've run lists like this. It happens. Sometimes it's fun to do. Like you want to go to a GT. And you're like, you know what? I want to win one, and you try and bring a list like this. Totally fine. This one, I would say you're still min-maxing, but you're not taking. I guess you are still taking the best combos and items the faction has. But let's say you're running Demons of Tzeentch, and you decide, I guess not Demons of Tzeentch, but you take maybe 10% of your army are in units that aren't optimized. Like, for example, if you're doing Demons of Tzeentch, you could take a unit of Screamers. You know, they're like 130 some points, and they are not good whatsoever. But, you know, something like this is, I think that would get them into that range a little bit if you took a couple units of those. Probably 10% of your army is not OP, maybe something like that. And then you start getting to fluffies, stuff like that. Blah, blah, blah. So this is what I like. I like this notification, or this little note. These tiers can be adjusted somewhat based on the overall GT population, because say you have 3 Brett armies, they all land in the 11 to 20 categories. Zach will look at them and so if one is stronger than the other, he might start adjusting your army comp score, which I think is totally fair, because if everyone that shows up to an event is all in the 11 to 20 range, but then clearly one person has something that's a little bit stronger, then then they will end up in this range. It just makes sense to us, like mean, median, all that crap. What to look out for: gun lines, monster mash, best spam list. I see dragon ogres and pet knights. I think that's from Todd. Tooled up characters and monsters. Blah blah blah. Totally fair. And I already showed. Oh, dang it! I already showed you all the prizes, which are awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think he has 13 prizes, but it doesn't have them all listed here. But who cares? Oh, I'm stupid. It's because there's 3 right there. Ha 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 ha. All right, so now we get into the missions. The Ferocious Wood. Where is it from? Buckeyes. Your army comes across a hazy wooded area strewn with bones and smashed armor. Upon entering the woods, your forces are overcome with bloodlust and ignore their commanding officer's orders. You must figure out how to harness this ferocity and control the woodland point. So using breakpoint, you got this deployment zone. There's going to be a forest right here in the center. And I believe if they're touching it, they get frenzy. I don't know if I reworded it, so I ran this mission at Mega. It was a little confusing in some parts, but I don't know. Let's see. So 50 VP for each frenzy unit killed. Is that any frenzy unit, or is that just units killed that had the forest frenzy? Or so, like, if I just have a frenzy unit that doesn't even get close to the forest and just dies somehow, does the opponent get an extra 50 victory points? I don't know. But based on rules as written right here, they would. 50 victory for each frenzy charge declared with a scoring unit. So that's the same thing. So if I just have a frenzy unit that's like way out here, and they declare a charge, do I just get 50 max or 50 victory points right there? I don't know. If you partially enter, so if you just nip the woods, you get frenzy. The moment the unit has left the woods, the frenzy bonus is lost as it comes to its senses. So you could be forced to charge out with frenzy, and then as you're sprinting and running, and you step out of the woods, you're like, oh, I'm not as mad anymore, but let me still hit you. Hiya! Okay. I think for Mega, I did it, you kept it until the end of that round. Because if you're forced to charge, I feel like you should, like the downside of being forced to charge, you should keep the bonus. That was just me. It's whatever. It'd be fun. +1 for having a scoring unit in the enemy deployment zone at the end of the game. +1 for each declared frenzy charge with a scoring unit connecting with the enemy. Max of +2. Losing frenzy while leaving the wood during the charge is okay. +2 for controlling the woods at the end of the game. Controls based on unit strength wholly in the wood. Outside of the wood does not count. Single models must be wholly within. Okay. Wholly within. So if I have a unit of like 15 Chaos Warriors and 5 of them are wholly within the wood, like their entire base, each miniature's base is in the wood. That's the only time the unit strength is added. That's probably what it means. Wholly in the wood, not within. Wholly in the wood, not within. So if that said within, then you could just be your corner. I think that's right. Okay. Hoist the colors! The messengers and scouts are bustling with news of forces marching just ahead. The battlefield has been mapped. The plans are laid in front of you with 4 strategic points of interest on the battlefield. These objectives must surely be secured if victory is to be obtained. You have to prepare the special banners marked to mark your territory. Aha, this is mine. I made this. This is mine. Yes, yes. I think I could have made it with better colors, but it gets the point across. So flank attack. Okay, so I'm running this one at Nova, but I got rid of this because it was just a little bit more confusing. It was just taking up too much time. People were like, they would forget, be like, oh, which banner? And either way, I just got rid of that part. But it's still cool to have. It's fine. Mark 2 of your scoring unit's banners with a token. These are your marked banners. If you do not have enough banners, your opponent automatically scores the associated VP that relates. Probably that relates. Place 4 standard 6-inch objective markers at these locations. Zach, if you are watching or you're going to watch and you need any objective markers, let me know. I got plenty of them. These objectives score to the end of each game turn. Blah, blah, blah. Scoring 1 point. Ow. So only scoring units can hold it. If there are opposing scoring units on that objective, it is contested and no one scores. So I could have 25 dudes on the objective. If I touch it with 1, is that contested? So it's not unit. It's not like the woods. It's not like unit strength in the woods. It's just I touch it with 1 model of a scoring unit and it's contested. Okay. That just means kill people. Just kill them. Murder. Control more objectives over the course of the game. If you kill an enemy in a character or enemy in a challenge on an objective. Wait, if you killed an enemy in a challenge. So even if you kill a champion, because it doesn't say kill a character. Okay. If you killed via combat, shooting, or magic a scoring unit on the objective. All right, that's cool too. Man. Okay. The General's Daughter. This might be the one where we have to, like, rescue the person. Let's see. Boys. Lilies can be captured by enemy forces during the hustle and bustle of battle. You're tasked with infiltrating the enemy camp and bringing the VIP back to safety. You can also capture a hostage to try and aid negotiations of a potential hostage exchange. You expect the enemy to try and raid your camp with a rescue mission as well. Alright. So, 6 turns. Plus 100 VP for any scoring unit in the enemy deployment zone at the end of the game. So if you survive with the scoring unit, you get an extra 100, up to 300. Deploy your hostage inside your deployment zone more than 8 inches from the board edge. Okay, more than 8 inches. So you have a 12-inch deployment zone. So from 8 to 12 inches, so 8.001, whatever, up to 12. Just say in your deployment zone, yeah, okay. Once your hostage is placed, it can't move, and your units cannot move your hostage, but can freely move through by your own units. So can you, I assume you can surround the hostage, like you put it up here, and just have like have a dragon sitting on top of it? Or is it like I assume it's not impassable, but it's like, not terrain, you can't go through it. Or I mean, you can go through it and you can sit on it. Now the enemy, so when a friendly scoring unit contacts the VIP you are tasked of rescuing, so the one that my opponent placed, if I have a scoring unit, touch that VIP, it's attached to my unit and gains all special rules. So if it has fly or whatever, reserve move, if the unit containing the VIP is killed or breaks from combat or panics for any reason, the VIP stays where it is and waits to be picked up. And it's dropped at the center of the unit that dropped it. Got it. Okay. And just he reiterated, only a scoring unit may pick up and rescue the VIP. So it's kill your opponent and try and get the VIP by like turn 4 or 5. Maybe turn 6 if that's what you got to do. Crossman's field, reach deployment zone. Not on my watch. Okay. Game 4, embrace the chaos. 2 big red lines. Is this one also 12 inches? Yeah, this one's 12 inches. Okay. The battle has spanned 2 days. And with the 5th engagement, exhaustion has set in. Alright, let's see. Scouts do count against you. The Chaos Gods have been watching the war and have enjoyed the wagering on battles. They have decided to spice up your final day with their blessings. The table has been sliced into thirds. At the start of turn 2, one player rolls a d3 to decide which table third will be blessed by chaos. After a section has been chosen, the God's blessing lasts 1 full game turn after you roll a d6 to decide which chaos gift. And a new blessing and the table section is rolled for the following. Okay. No God favor you. Undivided. Is this the whole? So all units in that zone will get blessed by a god. That's cool. They'll all get either reroll Panic, Terror, or +1 movement initiative, MR2, gain frenzy, or gain +1 regen. That's cool. That'll be fun. Oh man, that's going to shake some things up. See, I like stuff like this. That's fun. That's fun for a GT. Excellent. Bonus points. So when do you do it again? At the start of turn 2. The start of turn 2. Okay. +1 if a scoring unit declares a charge. +2 if under Khorne's Fury. +1 if a unit runs down an enemy. Okay, so the blessings that you gain increase the amount of bonus points you receive if they're under the blessing that matches that. I like that a lot. That is cool. If you miscast with a wizard, +2 if you're under Tzeentch's blessing. That's funny. What about Nurgle, bro? You're missing a Nurgle one. But I get it because you're maximum of 5. Tape banners. Okay. Funny. Can you dig it? Breakpoint. On the way to the next battle, you noticed a tunnel close to the battlefield. Are you brave enough to send your troops to explore it? Maybe not. This is going to take a while. Oh, God. Okay. Special rules. You may nominate one of your scoring units. No character's maximum unit strength 25. Okay, so you can't put characters in it. To explore a secret tunnel. In doing so, this unit gains ambush and does not deploy normally. It doesn't say infantry. It just says a scoring unit. Okay. At the end of each player's turn 2 remaining moves phase, basically like when your reserve moves come in, the selected scoring unit exits the tunnel and comes onto the battlefield at a point chosen by the player, not in either player's deployment zone. Okay. The unit then scatters 2d6. Always scatter in a direction even if hit. And comes onto the board not within 3 inches of an enemy unit. So you put them down. Do you put a marker down and then scatter 2d6? Comes onto the battlefield. I would assume you put the unit down, then they scatter 2d6. Okay. If the unit scatters off the board, it comes onto the closest table edge. Makes sense. Oh, no. It says place a marker where the unit comes in at. Okay. The unit cannot move this turn. If you scatter onto enemy units or impassable terrain, move the shortest distance to place your unit. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So you place some... I would, Zach, maybe place a marker down earlier. Somewhere... Maybe like right here. Like place a marker where the unit comes in. The selected scoring unit exits the tunnel and comes onto the battlefield at that point or something. Because me not reading that, I honestly thought you put the unit down first. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which way he meant it. if you put the unit down or the marker. Now I'm confused. The unit is potentially rewarded for exploring the tunnel. When the unit emerges, roll a d6. If you roll a 1, the unit got lost multiple times and no longer trusts their leader. -1 leadership for the unit. 2 to 3, find some trinkets. 4 to 5, they gain an extra 150 VP. So you just gain it, like even if the unit dies, you just gain it, or sorry, even if that unit dies, your army, you just get an extra 150. Probably. Or the unit gains an extra 300 and +1 leadership for exploring the treasure tunnel. Wow, that's cool. So you get +1 if you explored. You get +1 for killing the enemy unit that explored the tunnel. +1 up to 2 for controlling a tunnel entrance. Oh, okay, so that marker you put down, you have to leave that down. Controls given within 3 inches of the marker. Highest unit strength within 3 inches if it's a tie. Okay, I like that. That's fun. Basically like some rat tunnels, or Skaven tunnels, not rat tunnels, same thing. That's fun. Then he talks about terrain. Oh, this guy's terrain. Proxy models, blah, blah, blah. Hey, that's good. Fill the trays. That's what I'll probably have to do. We're not using the GW rule. If you move a model, it is permanent, i.e. you want to see if you get out of line of sight of someone, so you check. That's nice to have. If you're going to play no take taxes, better work both ways for the whole game. Players are strongly encouraged to have token spells effects. Yeah, that's a good one. That's easier too. Love it. It's just trying to be like, hey guys, it's supposed to be friendly. Let's get the game state correct. Let's not do any like, I move this unit and then I didn't mark them exactly where they're supposed to be, or I didn't mark them at all, so now I have to put them back, and then I put them at the wrong spot. So yeah, not good, not good. Okay, so this is awesome. So far, I've covered the ACO. Oops, where is it? I guess I already closed it. The Atlantic City Open one. I just covered the Beltway. I'll cover this one quickly because this one's a ways away. But this one is basically a Road to Nova event. So this might change. I'm not sure. Depends on what Rob wants to do, depending on the packet that comes out. Or not packet, the match play guide. So this one is at Huzzah Hobbies, which is in Ashburn, Virginia. Rob wanted to run an event, and we were trying to figure out where he could do it. Battlegrounds is a good spot, I think, but to get more people, there's so many more people up in the Nova DC area that play. So running it up there was definitely the good decision, because he wanted to run it at Battlegrounds, and I love BG, don't get me wrong, but to get more players, you got to run it up north a little bit, especially if you just want to hire more players. It's just easier for people. And there's already so many events. There's a ton of GTs now. So there's like one a month. If not every other month, there's a GT for Old World. How cool is that? So this one is $45 per player. It's at Huzzah. They do have beers on tap, which is cool. I'll go through this one a little bit more quickly. 2,000 points. No allies. Marks are fine. They are using Renegade. And I added this one for Nova, and he took it too, which I think this was the only one, like the main thing I thought got a little too strong for demons. I don't think they should be able to take 2 greater demons, because if you're running double Bloodthirsters and you're always getting a 5-up against everything, it's pretty gnarly, but at least max of 3 units of the same type. I wish I did this one for Fly. So I did 0 to 3, and I'll cover that in a second. But I like the points allocated instead of number of units. This one I like a lot more. So I wish I could switch Nova, but I'm not going to, because I want people to at least have enough time to get their army ready, except what GW releases. So I like this points thing. It's a lot better, in my opinion, at limiting the brokenness of Fly than number of units. So no more than 666 points on all units combined can have the Fly special rule. And then no more than 450 on any single unit, not including characters. So you can still take a Black Dragon, but you can't have 400. You can't have 500 points in a Peg Knight unit. Not that I've really ever seen that, but could be done. Could be done. No, no, no. Sorry. This isn't fly. This is any single unit. Oh, really? Okay, so you can't put 500 points in a unit. Huh. What's 500 points? How many points are like 10 Blood Knights? How many points are like 50 Graveguard? 40 Graveguard? You couldn't even do 40 Graveguard. Is like 30 your max then? 30 with Great Weapons and Drilled. I mean, I'm okay with this because this kind of gets rid of anvils and bunker units. Green Knight comes in. Okay, so the Green Knight is legal here. It comes in on remaining moves, so you can't charge the first turn you come in. That's a good change. And surrenders 50% of its VP if it returns at least once. So if you kill him, he gives up 50% of his VP, but then he at least can't charge the turn he comes in. I'm okay with that. Falcon Horn, one use only. Okay with that too. I don't know what the Beastman banner. I don't know if that's one use only or not, but maybe that should be added. The Vampire Counts get 3 Screams max. Totally cool with that. Gets a little busted when you start having 4 or 5 Screams. Even 3 is still good, but that's fine. I think I did this too. But I like this a lot. So, no, I didn't do 10-0. I did not do 10-0. So this one's by Rob Canterman. He's on Discord. You can send him an email if you have questions. I don't know if this one's on BCP yet. I'm guessing it is. If it is, I need to sign up. But let's see. General's worth 100. I really like this. So he took this from... Why is it highlighting like that? Whatever. I really like that. That banners are not worth any victory points. That would be a very cool thing to add for Nova, because it makes you want to always have a banner, and it looks better on the battlefield. So I might add that myself. We'll see. But regular infantry... Okay, so infantry and cav at or under 25% are worth 25%. Anything above that is basically at or under 50 is under 50. 10 total battle points for objectives. I think I did this for a couple of missions. I think so. Claim an objective. Within 4 inches of the center of the objective marker, unit must have at least 1 full rank, not rank bonus. Okay. So you can't hold an objective if you just have 1 guy remaining in a unit. You have to be at least 4 guys if you're heavy infantry. Okay, that's cool. Painting. Same painting. Sorry for the yawn. Sportsmanship. We played Warhammer. It was fun. This game sucked. Opponents like this make me not want to play Warhammer. Alright, well, there's no in between. We played Warhammer, it was fun, or it sucked. It's fine. If this second box gets checked twice by your opponents, you lose 10 points. Ugh! Thrice, and you are ineligible to win anything, and we reserve life to smear lame online. Oh! You better be on your best behavior. So, okay. Something like that, I'm half okay with, and half not. This will force you to bring a list that isn't as strong, but you can still bring a nasty list or play versus someone who has a nasty list and have a good time. So that's tough, because if someone brings a nasty list and is a great person, I don't want to give them this one, right? Because they were nice, so their personality was nice, so like I was having fun, but their list made me not want to have fun. So some people are spiteful and would choose this one, even if they had a good time. Some people aren't spiteful and would be like, "You kicked my butt," or if someone just got their butt whooped and their list wasn't that like the enemy's list, or opponent's list wasn't that like OP, they could still put this one. So I don't know if I like this one as much, because it's just too subjective. But whatever. Let's see how it works. I hope it works well. If you get that 3 times, though, yeah, it's probably you. If you get that 3 times. Okay. 100 points, favorite opponent. So this one's just quick. I think this might be Rob's first event he's run. I'm not sure. Definitely of the old world, but I don't know if it's like ever. So these missions are a little bit more wonky than normal. What's up, Rudmer? I just got into fantasy muling if I can make no overtime. Oh yeah, hell yeah, let's go. Hope you can, man. Just try and get 3 colors and based. Do you have an army already, and what army are you working on? I'm also in the RVA area, so if you ever want to roll some dice, if you want like a demo game or something, or just to start playing a couple, let me know. You can find me on Facebook if you just search SquareHammer and or SquareHammer. SquareHammer, no spaces, is the group, but SquareHammer is my Facebook profile. And we do have a Wood Elves, nice. I love Wood Elves. They were my first army. We do have a Facebook chat with a bunch of people in it. Nice. And if you can ask questions, shoot the shit, all that good stuff. All right, I'm gonna keep going. Wood Elves. Now, did you get into them just now when you got the new book? Have you seen the Arcane Journal yet? It looks fun. It has some cool things. Some things that, like, I don't know why they did it, but it has some fun stuff in it. Wait, is this Craig? Or is this a different? Hold on. It could be. All right. Your forces separated into a... Okay, so look at this scenario. Best laid plans. Your forces are separated into a pickup and drop-off team for the exchange. Oh, a hostage exchange has gone south, as things tend to do. Both sides must attempt to recover their VIP hostage while preventing their opponent from doing the same. Okay, that's interesting. Your forces are separated into blah, blah. At least 25% of your points must be in each deployment zone. So if you're player A, you got to put at least a quarter here and a quarter here. Roll off for zone choice and who deploys first. Winner picks their 2 zones and loser decides who's dropped first. Count all drops for your army, including scouts. Whoever has the least amount of drops gains +1 to go first. Ties go to whoever deployed first. Wolves of the Sea may use Warriors Duel. Okay. 18 by 12. That's interesting. So look at the... Okay, so I didn't see this when the first time I read it. But the VIP is in red right here. So these exchanges... What's this, 9 inches? I guess it's 9 inches to where the VIP is sitting. That's cool. Recover your VIP and stop your opponent from recovering there. So whose VIP is which? I would add that in there, Rob, because at this moment I don't know who. I'll shut up because I didn't keep reading. Hey, look at that. Deploy your VIP as shown on the map. This deployment is done at any time they're in a deployment phase. Once the VIP is placed, the second must go in the other location. So who gets... This deployment is done at any time during the deployment phase. Huh. When a friendly scoring unit contacts a VIP your opponent, the unit ceases movement for the rest of the turn and cannot be moved by any means. Charging and fleeing units cannot pick up the VIP. Treat them as ineligible. Okay, that's cool. So then this one at least explains. So from like the Beltway and probably mine, at least Miga, you would move the VIP the minimum distance so it's 1 inch away from all units. Okay, I like that one. So you can't like put a unit and have the VIP in the center. The Canadian VIP is killed, it breaks contact. Not give ground. Gotcha. Okay. So I would maybe explain placing the VIP because it says deploy your VIP as shown on the map. So do you kind of just deploy it as if it's your unit? Like each person gets like one extra drop. So the loser could decide to drop first and drop the VIP where they wanted first. That's probably how that would work. Okay. Hoist the colors. It seems like they're taking the same thing. Then a full game turn after the first, +2 battle points. Woo. Okay. Oh, so yeah, because every mission is like this. So good. So 10 points in every single mission is by doing the mission itself. That's cool. Envelopment. Woo, this is like old ambush stuff right here. Look at this one, guys. This one's nuts. Roll for table quarter. The winner chooses. Oh, hold on. Never mind. I was thinking it was a little different. I was thinking it was like the last stand mission. I don't know if y'all remember that, but you deploy like some models, a bunch in the center, and the enemy is just surrounding you, and you try and last as long as you can. Okay, so that's not this. Winner chooses a quarter, and your opponent chooses who drops first, and they. So okay, so you're just catty corner to each other, and you're 18 inches away. I like that. This is kind of what there's a 40K mission like this. I think it's called it's not Scorched Earth. Search and Destroy. I think it's called Search and Destroy. At the end of each player turn after the first, +1 BP to the player who controls the most table quarters. I assume it's just unit strength. Wait, what? A unit must be partially within a table quarter to claim contested player choice if straddling 2 or more. Otherwise, table quarters are claimed the same way as objective, scoring units plus rank bonuses. Okay, that's cool. I like it. Embrace the chaos. Oh, gosh. Okay. This is a lot. So it's Breakpoint. The Chaos Gods have been watching, so it's similar to what Zach is doing, but it's a little different. So it's been sliced into 4 quarters. Roll a d4 to decide which table quarter will be blessed by Zinch. The remaining quarters in a clockwise direction are blessed by Corn. Okay, so I like this one because every single section is blessed. In Zach's, it was like this third is blessed. But in this one, it's all blessed, but each by a different god. Both cool. Any spell cast gains the benefit of a power scroll. Any dispel attempt gains the benefit of a dispel scroll. Does that include faded? Does that include faded dispels? It says any dispel attempt. I would assume that'd be faded as well. That's cool. Corn's Fury. Ugh! If they already have Frenzy, they gain Hatred. Ugh, that's so good. If you gain Poison and +1 regen. Ugh, gross. Gain Swift Stride and +1 Initiative. Oh, disgusting. Ugh. That's gonna be chaos, which must be embraced. That's cool. I like that a lot. That'll be a fun one. +2 of a scoring unit on the effects of Zinch Miscast, including outclassing the art. Turning an enemy wizard into a frog, score these points as well. That's probably for Peter because he's been running that frog. I forget. Was it not transfixiation, something like that. If you're under Corn effects, you win a combat or they die to the last man standing without breaking. That's cool. Scoring unit deals an unsaved wound from a poison attack or makes every regen save in a given phase. That's neat. So if you're only forced to take 1 regen save and you pass it, you get +2. If a scoring unit on their effects of Slanesh, y'all can see this, right? Completes a charge that required a roll of 12 or greater. See, these are fun. This is why it's fun to have different people run events. Because the missions are some of the best parts. Like, sure, changing your list to fit certain comp is fun too. But so is something crazy like this. Hilarious. +2, Slanesh completes a charge that required a 12 or greater. That's not too hard. For cavalry, that's good. or flying stuff. Plus 10. Ooh. Now that's neat. Plus 10 if you resist cast and score none of the above. You must have deployed at least 3 scoring units to score these points. That's kind of neat. So if somehow you don't score any of those, you automatically get 10, which is better because you're only going to score 8 if you do these 4. That's very cool, Rob. Props on that one. That is a cool mission. That is a cool mission. I like it. All right, shock and awe. I think this one's just probably kill each other. Usually the last game of GT, at least when I've run one, it's just line up and kill people because you get tired and you're little, you're a little drained. At the end of the game turn, after the first, out of 12 scoring units total on break by design. Oh wow, okay. So that's kind of, it's not comp, but it's kind of forcing you to want to play. At the end of each game turn after the first, add the total number of scoring units to the total number of rank bonuses in your army. The player with the highest score results, or highest result scores plus 2 battle points. Man, that really makes you think of your list. Because there was another one above that was not exactly like this, but it's adding up to control objectives. Number of scoring units to the total. So if you take like 4, let's just say, that really benefits low-cost infantry and corps. Now, it's not as good because it's not really going to survive as well, but in this mission, you will probably score this every single turn except maybe 5 or 6. That's cool. I like that too. All right. Terrain, proxy models, intentions, being cool. Okay. Looks awesome. Looks fun. And that one is at Huzzah. I think it's August 2nd and 3rd. Yep. It's called Mid-Atlantic Warhammer Legends, a Road to Nova event. A chance to get together with like-minded folks and smash each other's toy soldiers. Love it. Okay. So, now we can talk about Nova. Nova! Nova open! Oh, gosh. It's like opposite. Okay. So, right now, I'm running a 3K RTT on Thursday. It's going to start at 10 in the morning, and it's going to be, I just put 10 hours for everything. It's whatever. Each mission is basically, I'm giving you 3 hours. So, a ton of time to do 3K. It's still a little close. You should still finish. You're going to want to be chummy with your opponent, but you're going to be wanting to move while you're doing it. At least that's what I noticed when I did it at Adepticon. Adepticon? LVO. At LVO. So right now we have 20-some players. We have 25 players there. Awesome, because it's a Thursday event, which is cool. For the doubles RTT, we have, is that 29? I'm tired. I'm tired right now myself. Thank you. 29. So there's 58 players for the double event. That's awesome. So there's 29 teams. We have plenty of space. I think they might have messed this up. That probably should be 43. That should be 43. Well, no, I guess it's out of players. So yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So we can have 43 teams, and we have 29. That's excellent. That shows how fun doubles is. Very cool. And that's also just an RTT. Just a lot of fun playing with your buddy. Very cool. Then the Grand Tournament. And you can just go to, if you just type in Nova Open 2025 in Google or whatever browser, it'll pop up. And then you can just find the old world, like you go to activities, events, and stuff like that. And you just find the old world very easily. Let's see. So then I'm running, you just buy one of these two. You don't have to buy both of these. You just buy one of these two, and it'll get you, just buy this one. I mean, it's whatever. This one has 50-some players. We're getting close. I'd like some more, but I think last year we had 60. Now, some people might be dissuaded because of the comp, which is totally fine. But I think this comp makes it more even-handed across all armies. It brings down some of the OP lists that are winning most events. So I think this makes it more fair and more easy for other players and other lists to actually have a chance to win, and not just like the same net lists that are going around right now winning everything. So this is the 3K Rogue Trader one, or RTT, whatever. Here's the schedule. Submit the list. Now, I will admit, this comp is a little extensive, but after playing tons of tournaments all over the country and tons of demo games, tons of verse friends, like actual big games, I think this comp it's very clean. It might seem a little complicated, but if you just read it, it's a little bit more than most. But hopefully, this packet can just clean everything up, and I won't have to do this at all. And if it is, then we'll see what happens. That would be sweet. So this is what I did for, and I'll dive into this if you just joined. I'll dive into this after I go through these real quickly. The missions I only need to do once because I'll only do the GT's missions because, well, you'll see why. So this one is 3,000 points, 0 to 3 of the same character, core, and special. Only 2 of the same rare. Okay? Only 2 of the same rare. Why? Because there's some armies that can take more than 2 of the same rare, especially at 3,000 points. You could have 3 gigantic spawns. You could have like 4 or 5 on a 3,000 points. What's that? Hold on. You have 750 points. You could get 5 units of some things, 4 units of others. So I didn't want people to be forced to have, if you were trying to run the nastiest list, I don't want you to be forced to go buy a whole bunch of new toys. Usually when you buy a battle force, or whatever it is called for the old world, it has a whole bunch of extra, not usually the strongest things. This will let you run this and not feel as bad because you're not going up against someone who 3D printed the nastiest thing they could. So I like comp because 3D printing now has changed the entire meta in terms of what people could bring. So I want people who are just buying battle forces and just casually playing to be just a chance. I don't know what y'all think of that, but that's just me. Will Merc units that meet the unit strength requirements be able to score? Is this for Nova, or is this for the other ones? What do you think? Rhino Rider. Okay, but I don't want to get into justifying everything. So 0 to 2 characters in a unit. I don't want like 6 characters in one unit. It's getting a little wonky then. 0 to 1 flying character with 6+ wounds. So that means you can only have basically one big baddie dragon. You can't. So at 3,000 points, you could take 2 Chaos Lords on dragons. Not here, because then you're getting a little not what I'd like to see. Nova, yes. Yeah, I think so. Let me go down. Scoring units. I will add that. I think that is totally fine, Rhino Rider, to have it say that Merc units that are that meet the unit strength should be included. So yes, I will add that because I think that's cool. Is that cool with you? Is that cool with you? Cool with everyone else? I think that's neat. 0 to 3 flying units, including characters. So you can't have. If you take 3 units of Flying Furies, you can't take a Chaos Dragon. Sorry. Flying is one of the most busted things in the game right now, especially if you have Swift Stride. So trying to cut down on that abuse, I think, is more fun for all the players, and it's better for the game. Wizard max level is +2, including modifiers. So it's your level +2. So if you're level 4, the max you can have plus to cast is +6. You can't be +8 Tomb King Mortuary Cult. I think +8 is ridiculous. You're basically auto getting all your spells off. Unless you miscast, you're basically getting it. I don't know what is it, like 90% of the times, even if there's a level 4 nearby trying to dispel you. It is not fair whatsoever, and I don't think it's right. That's just me. You're welcome, Rhino. Rhino, is there any way you could message me? Because I want to try and remember that. I want everyone else to know it too, because I would want to edit the packets. So if you could just message me, that'd be great. Let's see. Max 40% points on characters. Yep, you can only spend 1,200. No Green Knight. All their special characters are allowed. I do like what Rob did to the Green Knight, but I'm not going to change this now. But I think in future, unless this match play changed something, that's a good thing. Max 50. I didn't limit the points in a unit. I just limited the unit strength. I think that's fair. I did max 10 wide. I don't want to see like 100 wide, or I guess 80 wide going across the table several times. You did? You messaged me on Facebook, eh? Did you message the one without a space in it? Like, did you message us not my Facebook page, but like my Facebook, or you message the page, not the profile? Let's see, I can get it. Hold up. This one I don't have logged in on my phone. Let's see. But I can real quick. No, you didn't message me there. I'll look it up. If you did, I believe you, and I will get there. All right, characters on chariots and or monster mounts take a slot as the chariot monster. Yeah, so you can't run 2 Terrorgeists in rare and then have a Ghoul King in rare to be a 3rd Terrorgeist, which would then can't do that. Can't do that. No allies, but mercenaries totally allowed. Proxies are welcome, but just send me pictures. Let me approve them. I don't want you to show up with something crazy, have no idea what it is, and then your opponents be totally confused. If you have an army like that, definitely print out a reference sheet with a picture of your unit and what it's actually representing, and give that to each opponent. If you need to laminate it and then ask for it back, that's fine. But just send me pictures so I know what's going on. So this is one of the big ones that this is a rumor going around that this might be included in here. There's a ton of rumors about this match play thing right now, and one of them is not the supporting attack one. It's not the supporting attack, but a lot of people are saying you're fighting an extra rank. Is it true? I don't know. There's a ton of rumors. So, but basically, all infantry in open and close order gain supporting attacks at the front. The second rank gets to fight with their +1 attack, +1 rank bonus to basically all open and close order infantry. So if a unit is 7 wide, then 14 models get to fight at their initiative. If the enemy strikes first and kills 6 of them, then 8 of those models got to fight. And I put it right here. 14 minus 6, that's your 8. So the ones that step up don't get to fight because that's like 8th edition where you always fight in 2 ranks. This one is supporting attacks. So it's a little different. So I didn't go as far as 2 fighting ranks. I did a supporting attack thing. A little bit more, it takes a little bit more math, literally just one more thing of math, and just count in a little bit. But it's just to give infantry a kind of a buff. Enchanting Aura and the Armor of Ages cannot be used on a character in a monster mount. I think the Enchanting Aura on a Warriors of Chaos Dragon is super busted. I also think the Armor of Ages, which makes you reroll to wound a Tomb King who's toughness 6 already, super busted. Bretonnian Peg Knights must be in open or lance formation. They lose skirmishers. Now, this is one of, my opinion, the best changes that I put in this thing. Bretonnian skirmishers are Bretonnian Peg Knights are extremely busted. Now, you could still take a Peg Knight unit. You can still have 2 characters in that unit. You can still have this super nasty hammer, I guess, but you can't charge in any direction anymore. I think that's one of the things that made them the most busted because, one, freedom of movement, but then also if anything happens next to you, if people try and get past you can't get past their vision arc. They're just there. So I think must be in lance and open formation is very important to neuter them because Bretonnians and Tomb Kings are basically easily the top 2 factions, and I think it's a needed change. And we play tested it a lot, and it was very helpful. It let the opponent actually interact a little bit more. It gave them one full turn of having a chance to do something before they got destroyed. Falcon Horn 1 use. 4 Screams match max, because this is 3,000 points. I think I lowered it. We will be using the Square-based Renegade faction pack, and I did limit Greater Demons to okay. So at 3,000 points, you could normally bring 3 Greater Demons, because in the Legacy pack or in the Renegade pack. But I was like, okay, 2 is fine at 3,000 points, but 3 would be nuts. 3 Bloodthirsters running across the field, or 2 of any and 1 of the other. 3 is just disgusting. So characters, monsters, and other all-infantry, 50% or below, you get 50% of their cost. Infantry, 25%, award 25%. That's just to, this is the basic rulebook, but we make all the, basically the units that are way better than the infantry, we made them a little bit easier to get some victory points off of. You click here, you can get the FAQ. I'll just click it. This is the Mid-Atlantic FAQ. You can read what we use. This is describing all sorts of shenanigans. I think they deleted the skirmisher one. Hold on. They did. I wonder why they did that. Okay. Let me go back to this. Sorry. It's like 175, I think, is what I put out. There we go. So here's what I did. I think it was LVO that did this. This was very cool. Just send me a Facebook request. Excellent. Nah, I mean, Infinity is still a great game. I have an Infinity army, but I am just waiting for Warsenal to release the Ji Young pre-painted bases, because I have a whole army. I'm just waiting to put them on bases, and I don't want to like put them on bases then have to take them off. I guess I could blue tack, but I'm waiting to play Infinity. But it's been like a year and a half since they said they were going to release these bases, so I'm kind of getting annoyed at that. But whatever, I'll just keep playing Old World. No problem with me. But George is cool. You know, you play multiple games, no biggie. All right. So you can see this is the differential. 15-5. Sometimes it feels bad to have to write like a 0 for yourself or for your opponent. So I think 15-5 is better. It keeps the battle points a little bit more level. You have a chance to climb back a little easier, even if you got destroyed. And it's at a 1,500. For the 3,000 point game, I might need to change these numbers. I didn't think of that. Let me check. Hold on. Doubles. Yeah, for 3,000 points, I should probably change this difference, at least the point values. Yeah, okay, hold on. See, this is why we do this, because I can think of things, and y'all point out stuff to me, and I can figure something out too. So, change Mercs to score. I'll write that down. And VP difference for 3K events. Excellent. So I'll point this out, I wish that the formatting was a little better. It looks perfect when I use the Nova site to like edit stuff, but then for some reason whenever you click the link, it shows, God, why is it backwards? It shows like at the page break, it does this kind of stuff. When I'm editing the PDF, like this is here and all this is moved up. So I don't know why it does it when you actually click the link. So sorry about that. But then you can see the code of conduct, you can see the FAQ, all that good stuff. 3-hour games. I had to write as much as I could because there's going to be a ton of questions. So unit strength on the objective determines who holds it. Core counts as double unit strength for special and rare, versus special and rare. So trying to gives a little buff to to core. Each standard gives +5 unit strength. That does not get doubled. No, it does. Yeah, see, core units do not get doubled versus special and rare. So if you have 20 core infantry on an objective versus other core, it counts as 20. Versus characters special and rare, it counts as 40. Sorry, versus not characters. Versus special and rare, it counts as 40. Easy. If you have a banner, it counts as 45. Basically, it's really trying to make sure core can claim objectives, and it's hard for them to be taken by special and rare until the core unit gets whittled down or is just off of it. Several scoring units. Scoring units can be defined as core units not in skirmish formation, 10 or more prior to deployment. Characters inside core units do not count towards the unit strength of the core unit, but do add their personal. So if you have 10 core troops, unit strength 10, but in terms of unit strength of the core unit, so if you're fighting special rare, if you had a character, it's not 11 doubled, it's just 10 doubled plus the 1 of the character. Should be simple. Just read it once or twice and you should be good. All the different terrain. I tried to make it how it used to be. I really like it if you're cavalry or chariots and you're trying to charge through water or you're trying to charge through woods or ruins. It should be dangerous. It doesn't make a lot of sense in my opinion, for cavalry to just be able to full gallop through woods and not really care, because they're going to have to be dodging. So I think it should be dangerous for them, and it is, at least here. Theme and army comp, basically the same thing that the other ones have done. And obviously I've run Nova before. This is my third Nova, or fourth. I think the first 2 years I ran Warhammer's Armies Project. Then last year was the first one for Old World, and then this one will be Old World again. I'm loving it. Nova's a great time. So if you are thinking about coming, definitely try and plan to be there. It's going to be a blast. Game 1. Rescue mission. So I tried to make the more complicated ones the first day when you have all your wits about you. So this is basically trying to capture the spy, or not capture the spy, recover your spy. Just like in some of the other ones, they did like the General's Daughter or the VIP, but this is basically the same concept. In this one, I wanted people to start a little closer, because if you're taking more infantry, and if you're only doing like the 12-inch deployment zone, it's a lot more difficult. It's much more difficult to capture the VIP with that infantry scoring unit when you're so far away. But when you're set up like this, it can be easier. You can get to corners easier, or if you have ambushing and force the VIP to be here, it's a little bit easier to get to. See, I hate this. I don't know why it's like that. But this is what I want. I want each player to record the number of miscasts they have, the number of misfires they have, the number of banners they capture, and if they slay the enemy general. Because I will be giving prize support for the highest number of miscasts, the highest number of misfires, banners, etc., etc. It was very fun to do at Miga. Cool medals, very cool medals, and it was just fun to say. Like someone had like I think it was a GT, and I think someone had 18 misfires in 5 games. It was insane. And I think someone else had like 12. No, not 12. It was 8 or 10 miscasts. So stuff like that is just crazy, because that's just the dice gods like giving you the finger. Fear the Forest. Okay. So this is the Frenzy one that I've read before. This one's a little bit different. This one I think you should only get the extra VP from a frenzied unit from the forest, not just any frenzied unit. But I changed the victory points on this one, and I think one more, to be what Rob had. Now, obviously, I had this one first, but like, I think you should score 10 points. I think Jonesy is the one that initially mentioned this to me. He's been on some of the little vlogs and battle reports. That why don't you do, instead of 20 points maximum for VP, and then like 5 for battle, or instead of doing 20 for killing your opponent, do 10 for killing your opponent, and the other 10 is the mission. And I think that really puts a lot more focus on the mission play, which is very cool. It's not only about killing your opponent. In some of these missions, it's just some of them. You still want to kill your opponent sometimes, but this one is a little bit of mission play. So y'all can see this. Big force is going to be in the center. +2 enemy in deployment zone. Each successful forest frenzy charge, not counting counter charge. So if you charge out of the forest, you get +2. If you do it twice, you get +4. And make contact. +4 for controlling the forest at the end of the game. Very nice. War is brutal. Death, death, death. This one is just trying to kill. This is. Oh wait, whoa. Mission 1. That should read mission 2. Hold up. 3K number missions. I was like, wait a second. I was like, how do we jump from 1 to 4? What is going on? But I figured it out. So this needs to change to a 2. And this needs to change to a 3. This one's just line up and kill your opponent. Mission 3. Remember, this is just the 3K. The doubles is where stuff goes crazy. So I want to show you all the doubles one. Almost everything the same here, if not exactly the same. So this one, you get the mission. You get objective mission round 1. Totally cool. This one I like a lot. Okay. Spotted in the skies. This one I just came up with this. It's called the Twin-Tailed Comet. Obviously, we know that. Hopefully, people recognize that because that's the icon of a lot of Empire iconography. Basically, the same comp. Okay, so mission 1, the comet is in the skies. Okay, it is coming. You can see it, and like all the astrologers and mages are like, "Oh my God, it's coming!" So all magic. This is obviously y'all can read all this. This is just not as fun for me to read right now. The special rules: all magic, bound spells too, are at -1 to cast, and doubles to cast are perfect invocations. So it's harder to get stuff off, but if you roll doubles, it's perfectly cast. Due to the comet absorbing the magical energies to fuel its descent even faster. This is going to be so much fun. I'm going to really like this one. So this one, I did this at Mega, and it was epic. Like sometimes you would have, okay, I'll read it to you. Magic items. If you and your opponent share the same magic item, army specific and generic, they both become mundane items and have no use. If you have 2 ruby rings on the field, you and your opponent, it's just a ring. If you have 2 ogre blades, it's just a hand weapon. So that forces sometimes 2 lore familiars. Nothing. You just have a little cat hanging out. I like this because people that want to take the best of each, the best magic item, and they end up playing someone who also does the same, they both get neutered in the same way. So it just brings the power level of each army by a little bit down. It adds some randomness because you could have both your generals in combat and you're just slapping each other with hand weapons. Hilarity will ensue, especially when you're playing, if you're doing the same faction versus the same faction. Even your army book magic items turn off, and it just gets funny. I watched some hilarious stuff at Mega. It was a great time. Okay, let's see. Then there's objectives on the field, blah, blah, boring, whatever. Okay, your mages have felt the pulsing magical energy from pieces of the comet strewn about the battlefield. The enemy spellcasters must have felt the same. Hurry! Secure the pieces before they do. So the comet is getting closer. It's like, you can feel the gravity pulling you a little bit. It feels weird. Like arrows are going, whew. Okay. So remember, on the other one, it was all spells, bound included, are -1 to cast, and doubles are perfect invocation. As the comet gets closer, all magic and bound spells are +1 to cast, but doubles are miscasts. So it's easier to get stuff off because you have more power, but it's harder to control. So this one's gonna be a lot of fun. So this one I used for Amiga too, not this part, but this one. I put treasures. There's little treasures on the map, and I had Josh Kinder paint like 60. He's got to paint me. He would be gracious of him to paint me more. Obviously, I paid him. Of these little treasure markers. They all look cool. They're like demons coming out of stuff, or there's like a whole bunch of cheese for rats, or like astrology stuff for Empire, or dwarven stuff for dwarves, demon stuff, Tomb King stuff, all sorts of lizardmen. Basically each faction has like a set of 5 treasures, and they looks really cool. Okay, so this one is when you start picking up the treasures, your unit gains abilities. So instead of the ones like with Beltway and MAWL, Mid-Atlantic something. Sorry, Rob, I forgot what it was called. Instead of like the Chaos Gods having an effect on the field, which I really like. I'll probably do that next year, or we'll see what happens for like the next event. I think that's very cool. Um, when your unit picks up a treasure, they get a bonus. And now this isn't per, like, so each treasure a specific unit picks up the treasure stack. But if only one, if like you have 5 units and they each pick up one piece of treasure, then they all only have this one, if that makes sense. So the first piece you get +1 movement. The second piece you get 6 up regen or armor bane. You get to choose. Third piece you get +1 weapon skill. Fourth you get +1 attack or armor save. And then if somehow one unit gets all 5 pieces, which would be insane, you'd have to be very fast to do that. Probably Peg Knights. I'm going to drop an 8th edition Comet of Cassandora on the table. Okay? And so if you do that, call me over because I'll have to probably print out the Comet. I might have the old Magic cards. I should still have the old Magic cards somewhere. Basically, I'm going to drop an 8th edition Comet somewhere. And no telling where it's going to be. So if you get it, be careful. But you have all 5 pieces. So you're going to have +1 movement, +1 regen maybe, +1 weapon skill, +1 armor save. It's hilarious. Comet, etc., etc. Keeping track of all this. Okay. Mission 3. This is when your arrival, your army comes across the fog. Oh, what? Oh, I need to change that too. That's good enough. Okay. So this is the forest one from the 3K, right? This is the forest one from the 3K, but this is what's going to happen. Now, you can see I've changed the, God, I hate that's opposite. You can see the scoring shakeup. So now it's 10 and 10. The game 1 and 2 were just regular. But this one, I shook up the thing to match the, basically what Jonesy suggested a while ago. And now Rob's doing it too, and he's doing it across all events. So very cool. But this is the Frenzy one. However, turn 4 at the center. Now, this is when everyone's going to be in the center fighting for this because it's very important to control because 10 of your points are doing these bonus points by like charging out of the forest or controlling the forest or etc. So, turn 4 at the center of the forest, the Comet is going to slam down. All units within 3d6 are struck by the Comet. Each unit struck by the Comet is going to take 2d6 strength 5 AP2 hits. And you got to roll for each unit. I might get rid of roll for each unit because that could take a long time. Maybe just roll once, it applies to all of them. So, now, the Comet gets stronger for each wizard that's on the battlefield. You get +1 hit and +1 strength for each wizard on the battlefield. So if there's 4 wizards on the battlefield, each unit is going to take 2d6 + 4, strength 9, AP2 hits. So it makes you want to get to the forest as quick as possible. So turns 1, 2, and 3, you can score. Maybe not turn 3. 1s and 2, you score. Turn 3, you see the Comet just coming down. So you try and book it away from the forest. The Comet strikes. Ooh, I should have it destroy the forest. Ooh, I should have it destroy the forest. So then the terrain's moved. Do y'all think that's cool? Should I keep the Comet there? Or should I keep the woods there after the Comet hits? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. I need to know. That's important. It would make sense. I'm going to write it down just in case. I'll put a question mark. Remove forest after Comet? I mean, it makes sense, right? I don't know. What do y'all think? Someone tell me. Okay. So then, after that, then you just score normally. So the forest is maybe gone because the Comet, the twin-tail Comet, just smashes and destroys all sorts of stuff. But there's no bonus or negative to magic because it's hitting. It's already absorbed all the power it needs, but it's getting extra power from the wizards. And that is mission 3. Woo, that was exciting. Just to talk about it, man, it riles me up sometimes. Okay, so that's mission 3. That's what I thought about that. So here's the GT. This is the I don't need to go through all these again, but there's Sacred Ground. You're starting 10 points for killing people, 10 points for completing objective markers. So I made the objectives actually more important. And that's why Core and Special get the double unit strength bonus, because objectives are very important in this scenario. So Stubborn Infantry or stuff that has Shield Wall is going to hold it for an extra turn. That's an extra 2 points, which is huge. Then it's Secure the Treasures. So what I liked about the 3K and the doubles, I had them all different missions, basically all pulling from the GT. So then once you get to the GT, you have all the missions in your head, and you won't have to reread everything because you would have just done it over the past day or previous day. So you might feel like it's getting repetitive, but you will appreciate it, especially if you're playing the 3K, the doubles, and the GT, because the missions will be set in there and you won't have to look up stuff. It's fine. Then you got the rescue mission. You got the Fear the Forest one, which I did the 10 and 10. And then game 5 is just line up and kill each other. And then if you kill the most expensive character or unit, or having your least expensive one alive, you get bonuses. So it's basically kill your opponent in game 5 to end out the day and end out the Nova. That would be 3, 6, 11 games of the old world if you're playing all of them, which is nuts. So if you have the stamina to do that, don't forget to keep track of all these. If you have the stamina to do that, more power to you. I'll be running all these events, so I will also be exhausted. So if you want to bring me a water or a drink, greatly appreciated. This year I do have several judges helping me. Last year I had to do this all by myself. I had several people help me with terrain and help set up and stuff like that. But I had to judge all by myself last year. And with 60 players, trying to judge that was a challenge, a huge challenge, because I had to run around, help with questions, and make judge calls, but then also keep track of scoring. So, okay, let's go. But I have a lot of great people. I think there's at least 2 judges total, at least 2. Some have 3 or 4 per event. But I want to talk about this now. So thank you if y'all have been here the whole time. I appreciate y'all just hanging out with me while I just talk the old world. I haven't had a chance to do it this much in a while, so this is great. So first, they just released this 2 days ago. And I think a lot of people have been waiting for some kind of comp, because they have mentioned, I think they mentioned in one of their other articles, that like a tournament pack book will be released. Now, I wish it wasn't a book. I don't like that they're trying to sell the rules. But like, it would be cool if they just did a free download online. But it is what it is. I think it's not that big of a deal. I don't know how much it's going to be. $40. Is there a price in here anywhere? No, but probably $40. Okay, so I'll read it with y'all. Can you believe it's been 18 months since we returned to the old world? 9 factions have returned to the fray with arcane journals, new miniatures, and returning classics. And with the arrival of Cathay, which I hope that pre-order is soon, there's a new and very old power standing firm against the Visidius of Chaos. What is Visidius? Hold on. Change your variation. Okay, makes sense. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Vicissitude. That's if that. So it's Vicissitudes of Chaos. I love it. What are you doing, GW, using this word? Have they ever used this word before? I don't think so. Maybe replace the forest with a flaming template, and units take random number of flaming hits when they move through it. I could put like a flame wall, but then I'd have to print like 30 flame walls. We ain't doing that. But it's a good idea. It's a good idea. All right, so if we're talking about the match play guide here, there's a ton of rumors. Some of them are that magic is getting toned down, so you're only getting like hero levels and lord levels. You're only getting +1 and 2. I don't know if that's going to be the case because some of the spells cast like on 9s. So a level 4, it's going to be very hard for you to get that off. But they do say, well, let me just, hold on. Get into my head ahead of myself. Got excited about talking about the comet. So more and more generals are fighting campaigns across the lands of men, and the tournament scene is thriving, which it is. With this in mind, the design team has created a matched play guide providing comprehensive information for anyone running or attending events for Warhammer the Old World. Cool. Looks good. Looks like a nice book. This guide will be useful for people organizing their first friendly events. It is for seasoned veterans of the scene, providing cardinal rules for all participants, a guide to running and organizing an event, advice on scoring, pairing, and army composition, and suggested rules for placing terrain. There is 3 suggested compositions: open war, grand melee, and combined arms, each of which have slightly different restrictions on characters and units. Okay. 6 match play scenarios are designed to challenge players in different ways, while optional secondary objectives and secret objectives can mix things up even further. There's a separate sections on doubles, including rules for composition, alliances, scenarios, and potential contradictions. Likewise, there's detailed guidance for running team events and escalation events. Escalation events are cool. One-stop shop for all your competitive match play needs. Is slated for pre-orders fairly soon and will be available as a soft book cover in EPUB, and it'll land alongside a new FAQ and errata document, which brings a few targeted changes to the rules of the game. We have more info from the rules dragon soon. So I assume the FAQ and errata document will apply to everything except the match play. So it'll just be across the whole game like the other FAQs. And the match play is just extra stuff on top. So have y'all heard some of the rumors? There's a ton of them. And I'm not even giving rumors that, these are just rumors that people are posting in like Discords and on Facebook and like, I know somebody. Do you know somebody? I mean, I think some of them might be legit. It's kind of hard to know which ones. But for example, one of them is like the +1 to +2 for casting. I don't know if that's going to happen. Like infantry getting 2 ranks to fight. That might be a thing. That'd be cool because some people are trying to help out infantry. Where is it? Where is it? Where'd it go? No, I had a list where it had them all. Sorry. Well, crap. Hold up. Oh, so anti-fly. One of the rumors will be one of the rumors are that the anti-fly stuff, like the Beastman and the Horn, will be limited to a 24-inch bubble, not to board wide, which would be nice. Still lets you like fly around and escape stuff. It's not just the whole thing. Where it is. Man, I saw some more. Where'd they go? Fighting 2 ranks for infantry. Oh, supposedly parry might be more wide. And there was something about stomps and something in combat. Like you won't get stomps and challenges. I think that was a thing. I don't know if these are real or not, but there are some of these changes that seem good. Some people think they're not well thought out. I mean, I don't know. Like clearly the rules weren't written super well because there's so many gray areas, and even the current FAQs don't really clarify everything or make stuff more confusing. But I'm hopeful. You know, that's like the best thing I can say is that I'm hopeful that this matched play had enough attention into it that I will just be able to use this for Nova. Like I would have no problem dropping if this match play, one of the 3, I can't remember the names at the moment, well, one of the 3 options did a lot of stuff like this. Like I don't think it's going to do it's not going to go as crazy as these for sure. But I hope they do at least a portion, because I think I know that these numbers would go up if we only use GW rules. I know some people that would not show up because the comp has changed, because they only went GW rules. I know several people that love this comp and only are coming and not playing 40K or another event because of these rules, like these rules and restrictions. And I know some people that aren't coming because of those rules and restrictions. So which one's the majority? I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to make sure that everyone has as good of a time as possible. And if some people don't come because of something, or do come because of something, that's fine. They can have fun, or they can not, whatever works. But I'm trying to make it so it's as fair as possible. But, man, where are those rumors? That's killing me. That's killing me. I just have a feeling that these scenarios right here are just going to be killing people. I don't think the mission play is going to be as cool as, like, it's not going to be 10-0 for killing stuff and then 10 for doing the mission. I think it's just going to be a few extra points, so it's still just going to be killing each other, which is fine for most of the scenarios, but every once in a while I think you need to switch it up. But that's just me. A lot of people watching now. What's up, guys? Hope everyone's having a good night. It's 10 o'clock. I've been on here for almost 2 hours, but let me just find... I'm going to find it. Hold on. I don't want to say it 1,000 times and then it not pop up. Let me switch back to my profile. Oh man, people talking a lot in the fantasy chat. Comp became an interesting subject on this group chat that I'm in. Some people, like, basically what I just said to y'all. Where is it? 1 second, y'all. Y'all having a good night? Anyone building anything right now? Anyone hobbying? People just watching? Oh. I don't feel like I'm talking to myself here. I'd like to get at least 60 people because we had 60 people at Nova last year. I think it was a little bit less than that. You always lose when you run a tournament. I always expect 10% of people to drop. I would love for the match play to have dispels tie. Sorry, a tie dispels the spell instead of having to beat it. Having to beat it is super crazy. Oh, no one's really... I don't know where it is. Sorry, guys. There was a list of rumors. I think I said some of them already, but I know they're out there floating around on Warhammer the Old World Facebook groups. But I've been on here for 2 hours. I think that is good enough. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for Noble Knight Gaming for providing some gift cards to hand out. Thank you, GameMat.eu, for giving me an insane discount on several game mats, because they did that last year too. So GameMat.eu, Noble Knight Games, and then maybe Starforged. I'm not sure if they're stealing IP or not. Probably shouldn't have said that. Probably just said check out Starforged. But they have some really cool stuff for 40K, the old world. And thank you to Nova and everyone for allowing me to run another event there. I'm really freaking excited. This is going to be great. I hope this tournament packet is everything we all want it to be. So then I don't have to keep my comp. People can stop complaining. And then I can just run this, and we'll have a great time. So cheers, guys. Until next time, talk to y'all later. Stay square.